Let's go.
Hi, I'm Elena from Cross Cultural Development, and this is Bend in Culture, the podcast where we dive into real-life challenges, but also hidden opportunities of working across cultures. The stories, the strategies, the few laughs, all is designed to help you to break cultural barriers and to turn differences into your biggest advantages and maybe even global superpowers. Whether you are leading a diverse team, working in international environment, or maybe you are simply curious about how culture shapes the way we connect, we communicate, we collaborate. This is the space to learn, to grow, and to thrive. So let's dive in and bend culture together. And today I am doing that with Martijn Koekkoek. Martijn is a Dutchie who has been living and working through cultures and countries for most of his professional life and now residing in Denmark. With his background in international marketing and sales, a couple of years ago, he took a leap of faith, I would say, and followed his passion. And he started Everybody Networks Here initiative, designing and hosting networking events and workshops for expats, international and like-minded individuals. His goal is to help to create meaningful connection and provide a safe platform for these people to learn and exchange ideas. What started as a local project in one city in Denmark is now an event which is bringing people together on several occasions in his home country, but also in Sweden, Netherlands, and France. And Martijn, being the soul and the motor of Everybody Networks Here, is living a very busy life traveling around. I had the privilege of giving a workshop on one of his events in Amsterdam. And now I am very pleased that Martijn has joined me today for this episode of Bend in Culture, which will be about, what else? The perks and the challenges of living a life as an international. And the perks and the challenges are both for organizations, employing expats, but also for the professionals themselves. Martijn, welcome. Great to have you here.
Wow, Lena, thank you for this really nice introduction. First of all, I really appreciate it. I work with Everybody Networks Here day in, day out. And sometimes it's just really nice to actually hear from somebody else, from your view, to hear what I'm doing. So, thank you so much for this introduction. And I'm really,
Absolutely, you are very much
really happy
welcome.
to be here today.
Great. So I want to dive right away. What was your personal drive to start this platform?
So Everybody Networks Here, that's the platform we're talking about. I started with it for, I think now 2 years ago. I'm living in Denmark and I had a job in Copenhagen, which I lost. And I had to find another job in Denmark. And as an international, it can be sometimes quite tricky to find a new job in a different country, so not in your home country. And especially in Denmark, where Danish is quite an important thing. You should be able to speak Danish. That's quite important here to actually get a job. Although there are also a lot of international companies here where you can be fine with just English. Anyway, for most of the internationals living here, it's a challenge to actually find a new job, which was also for me because the jobs that I was applying for, a lot of people were applying for this. I got a lot of interviews, but after a few months, I didn't get a new job. So I thought okay, what to do now? So I started networking because they say in Denmark, it's the same as in the Netherlands. I assume I know it's also important in the Netherlands. It's networking. Start networking, start meeting other people, find opportunities through that way. And then I went to a lot of networking events, but a lot of networking events were all around a specific industry. For example, marketing, IT, or AI, where you get really nice presentations from people who are specialists in these areas. Or it was, for example, there are also a lot of clubs only for female. So I was obviously not allowed to join these clubs then. But there were no networking events. There were no networking about connecting with other people. And there was not so much time for actually networking. So I thought but I want to expand my network and find these opportunities through networks. So I was talking with a friend about this because he was in a similar situation. I thought what should I do now? There are no networking events actually here where you can actually connect with others. So this is where I actually started organizing my own events. And it started, as you said, in Denmark. It was like a snowball effect. All of a sudden, it was the first event. There were only 6 people, but then it was 10, 20, 30, 40. It became bigger. And then I thought, like, okay, if I can do this in Copenhagen, I can also do it in the second biggest city of Denmark, in Aarhus. Third one, Odense. I got partners involved. And then I thought, like, okay, but if I can do this in Denmark, I can do it in Sweden. If I can do it in the Netherlands, if I can do it in Sweden, I can also do it in the Netherlands. So this is a bit how this
Story.
platform started. Long story, maybe.
No. It's interesting because do you think that the connecting factor, this is what is making your events so popular? Because I have also visited a couple of events here in the Netherlands, and you see that there is a little group of people, like under 10 people, and they are coming for every event, and it's like
Yeah.
like for them an opportunity to have a cup of coffee together in 2 weeks. But when I went to your event, it was a really huge group of people with all the nationalities coming over there. And I was like, oh my goodness, how is it possible? Because Amsterdam is so international and the people are still coming because, being an expat, being an international is like an ordinary thing now, right?
Yeah.
Why your events are so popular? Is it this connection factor?
A connection with myself, or
Connection that you provide people the possibility to have this connection, because what you said you were missing in the events you went to, they were professional, they were looking at the IT or special topic, but the connection was missing to other people.
Yeah, and I think that's true. Because what I experience is with the events that I host is that people are craving for connection. They're looking for connection between. They want to speak. People that come to my events, they come on their own actually to meet other people, other internationals, so that they can share their stories, their experiences about being an expat or an international. But also listening to others, and they also want to create some kind of a network together.
Wouldn't it be better that they spend this time not connecting to other internationals, but connecting to Dutch or Danish or Swedish, the people of the country they came to? I'm provoking you now, okay? So, so I hope you can take it.
But I think I think you also experienced it in Amsterdam. There is actually quite a few locals coming to the events as well, and I think that is really, really nice to see it, because I do think that internationals and locals can learn a lot from each other, and the conversations that you get between locals and internationals are also very interesting. Many times, I see local life and international life as two parallel worlds, and they are living next to each other, but then not talking with each other enough, I think. And because there are so many things that we can learn from each other. And I also think that internationals can learn a lot from locals, right? So from internationals, your guys with the Dutch, but also the other way around. We can learn from each other's cultures, learn from each other's points of view.
I totally agree with you, but why do you think that is happening so seldom? What you're saying, the international world and the Dutch world or local world, let's take Dutch away, local world and international world coexist, but they are parallel to each other. Why is it still possible in 2025 when everything is so mixed up?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's because internationals have different kinds of challenges that they deal with. That's one. I think there's several reasons actually why this is. First of all, if you're a local, if you're a Dutch or a Dane or a Swedish, when you grew up in your country, you had your family around you, your friends. You met your friends at school or at university, right? And so many locals don't need to find a new people or new friends, or because they have everything already there. And with internationals, it's more they're coming to a new country. They're starting a totally new life. They have to find new friends. They just need to start a whole professional life. So they have different challenges. The group internationals have different challenges that locals don't have. I think that's one of the bigger reasons why there are still these two worlds living next to each other.
Do you think that internationals sometimes feel unwelcome?
Oh, that's a good question as well. In my experience, I've never experienced anything like this, that I've felt unwelcome, or I haven't experienced this. But you can also see in the news, right? How politicians
That's
talk,
true.
and you can also see how people vote. Yeah, in that way you can experience it. But I've never actually experienced anything like it myself personally.
No, me neither.
But then again, I also hear at my events, I hear from other people that it can be different, that they experience different things. And
Yeah.
there could be different reasons why, because this sounds maybe weird, but I'm also, I am Dutch. I live here now in Denmark. Also be a Dane, right? If you look the
Yeah,
way I
yeah,
look.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So if you're from like a different part of the world, right?
yeah,
For example, India, or where you have a different skin color, maybe. I think they will experience it more, or they could experience it more uh,
yeah.
than I personally have.
But even you, who is look like a Dane, you, your experience is that it is an extra challenge for an international to find a second or the third job in a new country.
I think it's, I think it's difficult. Yeah.
I think with all the shortage of talent, which is nowadays, don't you think that some organizations somehow miss on the opportunities? Because when you or somebody else who is looking for the second or the third job in this country,
Yeah.
they already have some assimilation, they already have some experience. These are people who will be easily adapting in the new work environment.
Yeah.
Then open it and a new box of foreigners coming, and they need to walk on this, to go through this assimilation period. Why do you think the organizations don't grasp this opportunity and do something about it?
I don't really get the question. Or maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on the question that you're trying to.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said, that how difficult it was for you to find another job after you lost your job.
Yeah.
And you named the language as one of the
Yeah. Although I have to say, I speak actually Danish as well, fluently.
exactly.
I have a very
Exactly.
Dutch name. Maybe that could be it.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That is what I was thinking when I looked at your profile on LinkedIn. It was like, okay, he's living in Denmark, but his name is so Dutch. You know, what I'm curious about, you have an experience on working on a local market already, so that you
Yeah.
know ins and outs of Danish professional labor market. I would say that gives you an extra plus, even without the language, because we see that a lot of international organizations are okay with just English, right?
Yeah.
So I think that experience in this country would give you a bigger advantage. And yet you are saying it looks like it is difficult for non-local to find a second job. So, you know, I'm talking a lot with organizations and I'm
Yeah.
consulting them on talent, on finding talent, retaining talent. And that is very counterintuitive to me. That I think that organizations are really like throwing stones in their own windows,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
because
I
they're
think
not
they're also
focusing on the hire.
missing out.
What is your idea? And I think your guess is as good as mine. But what is your idea going through this process? What was stopping them to hire or from hiring you, for example?
Oh, that's a good question. But first of all, like the jobs that I was applying for, but a lot of people were applying for these jobs. There are a lot of internationals in Denmark or coming to Denmark, trying to find a job. So that could
Yeah.
be that's one reason. So I'm one out of the 200 people who are applying for. I'm not sure why they didn't hire me, but yeah, it's their loss, I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's also what you also see is that, for example, I came to Denmark for love, for my now ex-girlfriend. I also had to start with a job that I didn't like actually study for at all. I was also doing something totally different, right? I had to also climb up
Mhm.
the professional ladder here in Denmark, and I think there is a lot of people come to a lot of internationals come to a new country with the expectation of straight away getting a good job, a job that matches the thing they have studied. But then when they actually come here, or when they come to their new host country or their new country,
Mhm.
they disappointed, because then they see like, okay, it is not as easy to actually get a job here.
What
And
would be your advice to these people, the people who think that there is the beautiful world
yeah,
which give them all their dreams come true? What would be your advice to people who are coming? And it doesn't matter which country, like let's say any European country.
yeah. So I think it has to do something with setting your expectations, right? So for me, when I moved to Denmark, this is now 15 years ago, it was also, I could also not just get all the jobs that I wanted straight away. And I
It
have
was a
like a lot of
different
people
market
around me.
situation.
Sorry?
Sorry, it was a different market situation on the market, right? We had at that time we had much more, much. We had many more people looking for jobs than the jobs themselves. That now the situation is different, right?
Yeah, it could be. It's more international, I would say. Yes, that's correct. But still, yeah, many companies still pick locals
Yeah.
instead of internationals. I think, or that's what I experience and see.
Mm. Especially
While
for
it's
the
while a lot of jobs might not need the local language to do
yeah.
the job, right? Yeah.
Do the people in your eyes need to do a home work before moving to a new country? Like maybe investigate what is the market situation is, what are the jobs required, or is it just follow your dream and see what whatever?
Yeah, that depends on what kind of person you are. I think for me myself, like I would go for the adventure and just see what happens. This is how I am. But
Okay.
so I don't want to speak for everyone. I do think it's again it has to do something with expectations, right?
Yeah.
For example, if you're coming from the other side of the world and you're coming to Europe, for example, Denmark or the Netherlands, then the culture is very different. That's what you can learn from this girl. It's not. That's not a bad. I don't mean it as a bad thing, but it means like. I
No, no.
mean, this had something to do with your expectations. If you know that you're coming to another place where it's where the culture is different, the work life balance is totally different. It has to do with expectations.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. So make sure that your expectations based on some reality.
Yes,
And
that's a better way of saying it. Yes. Yeah.
do you think the organizations which are hiring expats of internationals or whatever, do they need to do something extra for those people? Or is it okay to say, okay, we gave you this job, we gave you this income, and now you have to swim by yourself? Or do organizations have a now duty? Maybe it sounds very heavy, but some extra obligations to the people they are bringing from different cultures.
Obligations. I think that's a that's a strong word, maybe. But I do
Yeah.
think that they should support internationals or new international hires, and they can just support them in different ways. They can support their families. They can support the families that travel with them. They can support them with a network, or they can support them with helping them setting up a bank account, or just some practicalities for getting started. But I think it's also within companies, and you do already see this is within international companies, is that why not have like cultural meetings, events where locals can learn, can talk with internationals, and learn where they can learn from each other.
Yeah.
So if companies could facilitate this, I think that's only good.
Yeah, I think it's very important what you are saying that because the organizations are bringing these people and then expecting them to turn on a switch or something and become very local in their thinking, in their
Yeah.
living, in their mindset, and that is so unrealistic. You have been doing Everybody Networks here for some time now, for 2 years, right?
Yes.
What is your biggest personal takeaway from the work you have been doing?
Oh, okay. Good question. My biggest takeaway is that I've learned a lot about myself also, but I've also meet so many nice people with so much good energy and so much positivity and enthusiasm. Internationals have like a lot of challenges. We both know them, right? But when I meet expats, internationals at these events I'm hosting, they all want to help each other. Everybody wants to help each other, wants to support each other. That's what I really feel, and I feel a lot of positivity. And that's one of my biggest learnings, I would say, from hosting these events.
Okay.
And I get a lot of good energy out of this. That's why
I
I keep
believe.
continuing doing it as well. There is also opportunities for myself coming out of these events um, that help me further.
Yeah. You said expats have a lot of challenges. Are these the same challenges in every country? Like Sweden has the same, the expats in Sweden have the same challenges as expats in Denmark or in the Netherlands or in France, in your
Yeah.
experience, right?
Well, Yeah, in my experience, what I hear is that, for example, in Paris, they say Paris is the most difficult city to integrate in or to feel at home. But they also say it in the Netherlands. They the international say it also in Copenhagen. It's not all of them, not everyone, but every country has specific challenges, and it can be because of culture or because of language. What I experience is that most internationals experience the same kind of challenges, and this is with integrating, finding a job, or meeting.
I think it's not supported by any experience or something. But when I'm thinking about this culture, this four culture that you are doing your event in, I think I would agree that Paris and France are the most difficult one because they're also the most patriotic people. And if we take Scandinavians or Dutch people, they pride themselves in being very tolerant and open to
Yeah.
the new people. So I do think that assimilating in this northern part of Europe is easier than when we go
Yeah,
south.
maybe
Also,
that's maybe
with the
that's true, but
language,
it's
right?
just yeah. But the challenges are the same. I do see that the challenges are the same. Yeah, there's different ways of challenges. I know a lot of French people who are also very nice and open towards internationals, or have a very international
Absolutely, of
mindset.
course.
So I don't know. It might be a bit more difficult in Paris, as you said, but
You don't see it this way.
no.
What do you think we can do, you, me, whatever, to make more locals attend these events, so that it's not only this very little group of internationals which are coming to expats events,
Yeah.
but what you're saying, it's very important to learn from each other, and the more locals are coming, I think that the more understanding, the more connection is there. And what can we do to attract these people to get away from their long-term friends and family and stuff like that and be more curious?
That's a good question as well, I would say. But I think that, so for me, it's very important. Like the events that I host, they are very open and I really invite everybody to come. I always, like in my invites or in my communication, I always say everybody is welcome. It has to do with something with communication. So you have to be very open towards everyone. And I also think that there is also a role maybe for companies in here to suggest to the new internationals, hey, maybe it's a good idea to, or international to their staff, hey, maybe it's a good idea to internally network with each other.
Yeah,
And they can initiate these events themselves
yeah,
uh, as well.
yeah,
Um, Now I'm talking a bit more about internal networking.
yeah.
Um, but I think that could also be a way of doing it.
What is your plans for? We are finishing up the 2024. People are already making plans. What are your plans? What are the plans for everybody in networks here?
So my plans are, I would like to expand to even more cities, especially in Northern Europe and then also France. Some people don't consider it as Northern Europe. Yeah, so I want to expand to more cities, but I'm also looking for more partners and more sponsors for these events. That's what I'm also looking for. And I'm also looking into, because at the moment I do everything alone. And sometimes that's very, yeah, it's fun to do everything by my own, but it also means that I have to do a lot. So I have to
Yeah.
think about a lot of different things. So maybe in the future, I will also think, and 2026 could be that year. I'm also looking into maybe doing it together with other people. And but I'm now looking into how that could be. This could be maybe through an ambassador program, so that people could like host Everybody Networks Here events in their city, and they will then host it under the Everybody Networks Here umbrella.
Then,
Again, I'm just now looking into it, how I could
yeah.
do this.
So, guys, you heard the man, huh? If you want to participate somehow, to make a mark in this adaptation and connection of these internationals coming to our countries, because, we can talk about it the whole day long, but we still have jobs that we need people to take. We don't have the local enough. So there will be people coming to our countries and helping us with all kind of jobs. So we need to be prepared that this globalization, multiculturalization of our societies will become bigger and bigger. And Martijn has a great initiative. I even especially use the word initiative, because I think that at a certain moment, after 20 cities, you will not be able to do it by yourself, Martijn. So he needs people who share the same values, who share the same drive, and maybe also who help to finance this great initiative in different places and in different countries. I will put Martijn's information under the podcast so that you can find him and find the ways to get in conversation and see the ways there are to collaborate. Thank you, Martijn, for sharing your insights about this part of our professional life, which is so integrated on one side, but still we don't think about it and we don't think about the challenges that people can have. And I'm sure, guys, that today's conversation with Martijn and his story gave you some new ideas, some fresh insights, and maybe confidence to take a new career path. But hey, be sure about your expectations to manage them, expectations management, but also it may be an incentive to look at your international colleagues in a different way. And what Martijn also said, maybe find ways within the organization to make these networking events part of the culture of creating this we culture within an organization. Guys, if you feel inspired by what you heard and you want to go further navigating our multicultural world, join me in 3 weeks for another episode of Bending Culture, where we explore more ways to grow, lead, thrive in our global world, and there will be a new inspiring guest. Now, this is only second season of Bending Culture, and we are still as a podcast in baby shoes, so your support means the world. So please subscribe. It is totally for free. Leave a review, because I'm looking forward to your feedback, what I can do better, which guests you want to have, and share this with the fellow global game changers. Until the next time, this is Elena from Cross Cultural Development. Let's keep bending culture together to shape a thriving, inclusive business world. Thank you, Martijn. Thank you guys for listening and joining me today. I see you next time.
Thank you.